there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in.
We're talking love in marriage, Huntsville. You guys know why you are here. Today we're talking because I wanted to recap an interview that got released today featuring Mel and DJ Scream. Now, I want to precaution you guys that this is not an interview that was done today. This was an interview that I believe was done a couple of weeks ago, or around a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you guys remember when Mel was in Atlanta and she had mentioned that she had some interviews and some things lined up as well, and they were at, I believe, her penthouse when she went live, when her brother went live, and he was giving his feedback on some things that some people's parents were saying about Mel on their platforms. But nonetheless, I am here to recap you guys what Mel said in this radio interview. So I just wanted to give that disclaimer that this was when Mel was in Atlanta. This is when she did the DJ Scream interview, as well as the performance and interview for Portia on Fox. And so we're going to talk about it. So DJ Scream, he basically said that the interview starts off that he connected with Mel a few years ago. Mel, recalls that his wife had just had a baby or was pregnant or something at the time. And so she's up here asking when, is there a baby number 2 that's going to be in sight? Are you ready for there to be a baby number 2 and all the things? And basically DJ Scream was like, when God wants one, that'll be when it's that, right? And then he said, thanks to COVID-19, he's discovered sleep and is, being a little bit selfish. He's got a kid now that's like in the terrible twos era. And so nonetheless, Mel was like, well, if the money's rolling in, why not hire somebody to, help out with the child throughout the night, and to help you and the wife to kind of have some alone time. And so then DJ Scream is like, well, that sounds like you're trying to offer me a position on reality TV. That sounds like you're trying to offer me on Love and Marriage Huntsville. And so then Mel says, well, it could be Love and Marriage Huntsville, right? We're always looking for people. And so she said that Huntsville is growing, that is being a lot more developed. And regarding the show, they wanted to highlight a city in Alabama. She said there's a lot of things that they've got going on. They've got the FBI, they got NASA, her alum, A&M, they've got the Arsenal military base and all the things. And so she was repping her HBCU that she graduated in 2007. And then DJ Scream was like, listen, you've got all types of hustles. You've got all types of bags. You've got all types of businesses. I can't keep up with all of the things that you've got going on. Can you please break it down to the people? Can you please break it down to me? So Mel is like, listen, I am very blessed. I am very multi-talented. I'm very multifaceted. I'm very multi-interested, and I multitask as well. And so then she went into 7th Avenue Beauty. She said this is a skin, body, and hair care line. And she talked about her black chemist from Dallas, who's been a chemist, I believe, for 20 years, and how they really want to create healthy vegan products, for the clients and for healthy skincare and hair care and body care. Then Mel went into, of course, her master class with Melody, which of course is her property preservation class, how you have managed, basically, you teach, she's taught over 800 students since 2020, and said that basically the idea of property preservation, for people who are not familiar, is that you manage foreclosed properties for banks. And she said that's how she first became a multi-millionaire. That was, the first millionaire that, first million she made, basically, doing this property preservation. And so then she said as well that she had to start over. So she had to dissolve all these businesses, as you guys recall. Remember that episode on the show? And said that, everything had to be dissolved with her ex-husband so that Mel could start over under her name, right? And so then she said she had to start back from the ground up. Then Mel talks about her music says that she is into music. Also, reps her production company, Tilted Crown Productions, and said, and then DJ Scream was like, well, how do you have time to balance all of this? And so Mel said that it's not about balance, it's about prioritizing things. She said that something is always going to be more important, so you always have to prioritize. She said it could be a situation where you need to sign a contract that day, and nonetheless, something may come up where your kid may get sick, and then that becomes the priority of taking care of your baby. And then, prioritizing from there other tasks that you need to get done. And so then also she said that she wants to, also has been blessed to also help out. As we know, the kids are very interested in Mel's businesses. So she said that she has helped teaching them about inventory, about putting together, the packages of the orders for the people. And DJ Scream, joked that it was the trap room. And Mel said, yeah, it's the trap room, but we get everything done. She really is trying to teach the kids on how to become an entrepreneur. And she said she's trying to really slowly integrate them into this, but she said they're also very eager to learn. They're always asking, Mel, how she's doing. Mom, how was your performance? How were your sales this week? How did your speaking engagement go? How many orders did you have? Do you need any help packing orders? And so she really, the kids are very much involved in Mel's success. And so she said that she is really trying to do as much as she can to show the kids why she is working so hard, right? To build on and pass on that legacy. She also said as well that there are times that she will have the kids with her to see her at these speaking engagements, to see her at these events where she might be hosting a panel or hosting different things, so that the kids can see all of the hard work that Mel is doing and why she is gone. When she is gone, this is what it is. This is what it's about. Educating others, providing insight and inspiration to others, and to talk about the accomplishments as well that she has made, right? And so nonetheless, from there, she also said that DJ Scream, asked, what advice do you have for anybody, especially Black women who are interested in being entrepreneurs? What advice do you think they should get? And so Mel basically was like, listen, you need to understand that you need to surround yourself with like-minded people. And she said that's like the hardest thing, right? And she said to try to surround yourself with other entrepreneurs. She said that she went through a public scandal. She went through her divorce. And she said there were times that she didn't feel like getting out of bed. There were times she didn't feel like doing anything and just wanted to just kind of be, hidden away. And nonetheless, she had people around her that was like, no, Mel, you got to sign this contract today. No, Mel, you got to do this speaking engagement today. No, Mel, you got to do this masterclass today. So she had people that were on her to make sure that even though she was going through all these things, that she was still getting things accomplished. So then as well, what Mel said also is, you have to be okay with cutting off people and not worrying about, hurting anybody's feelings. And so Mel was talking about how every second of the day matters, how she gets up at the crack of dawn and goes to bed at the wee hours of the night, and she tries to get as much done. She said, what if you got up that hour earlier to get something else accomplished, to get something else done, and it's a disappointment if you wasted time or wasted a day on something and could have got some other things happening if you got that additional hour up earlier. So then from there, and Mel also gave the example, hey, that hour that we missed out on, that could have been 100 orders that could have been, packaged up and ready to go for 7th Avenue. So an example of that, of just, trying to utilize every single second of the day. Mel said that she's been an entrepreneur since she was 25 years old. That's all she knows at this point. And now she said she's 38 years old. So she's pretty much, very much, working for herself at this point. Everything has been a grind. Everything has been a hustle. And so then DJ Scream asked, he was like, well, Mel, why don't you hire some people, to help you package up this stuff, package up the 7th Avenue and all these things. And Mel basically was like, listen, I love being hands-on with every aspect that I've got going on. She said that she doesn't want to hire people. She says she wants to protect her energy. She said that she wants to protect her frequency level and all of these things, and basically tried to say that when she's packaging and sending off these packages of 7th Avenue to the customers, to the clients, that she's sending it with love, essentially. Sending it with her, packaging it in, and wants people to know that it's from a positive energy, it's from a good place. And so then DJ Scream was like, well, okay, well, how do you manage, when you're dealing with some people that are going to take you out of this frequency, when they're going to take you out of this element? And then he name dropped, of course, her ex-husband, Martel. But basically, it could be different people on the show. It could be various things. And so then Mel said, the key is you don't want to let yourself crash. You don't want to let the negativity get to you. And she says that, sometimes though there are instances where folks can, get that smoke back. And Mel was, I think, referencing when she did that live and was doing a response to Phonics Unhooked for the things that she was accusing Mel of. And Mel was talking about sometimes she has to, fight back, and she did recently. But she said that she's on season 5, and she'll explain that in a little bit later, and we'll get back to that in a second, of Love and Marriage Huntsville. But she said, she has had amazing growth since the earlier seasons. In the earlier seasons, she was clap back Mel. She would go back immediately and get into a back and forth with people and get into a back and forth live and all of these things on social media. And she said now her growth is so amazing to where a lot of things now, she is, spending that time with herself. She really got to know herself after her divorce, after the public scandal. And really, Mel desired peace. So that's why a lot of times she's not trying to go back and forth with these people. She wants peace and peace of mind. And so then Mel said that she's in a place right now where she's happy, she's peaceful. She said that she's a low-key comedian and that she always enjoys to laugh and cut up all the time. And then also she said as well, though, as far as the haters go, she used to respond in the past, but now she doesn't respond. Now she said the fans notice when Mel just flat out blocks people. And she said that she has a pretty good block game. Like, her block game is on point. And basically said, hey, although I don't respond to as much stuff as I used to, I never put myself in a position where I'm going to allow anybody to bully me. I'm not going to allow anybody to continue to just attack. And at that point, that's when I'm going to fight back. And so Mel also said, the frequency, if it's meant for these people not to be in your life, to block them out. And also when it comes to a point where you have to stand up for yourself, when you have to defend yourself for something, you have to respond at that point. But she said also you have to keep in mind you can't respond to everything, because there's always going to be negativity, there's always going to be haters, there's always going to be false narratives. But if you spend all this time, responding to everybody and responding to everything, then that's bringing in more of the negativity, that's bringing more of the negative energy, and that's taking you away from your day-to-day, right? And so then from there, DJ Scream asked who were 3 women that Mel wanted to give a salute to, wanted to give flowers to, and all of the things. So first and foremost, Mel said Mama Van, of course, and said that Mama Van really instilled a lot in Mel in terms of her upbringing. There was a lot of things that she was taught by her mom. She says now that she is older and a mom as well, she gets to see kind of how all of the things that came full circle as she was growing up with Mama Van, saw her how to have confidence, and saw her, a lot of grooming and things that took place that she was able to, now have as an adult. Then from there, she also said another person that is also she wants to give her flowers to was Oprah, and basically said not just because of the Oprah Winfrey Network that Love and Marriage Huntsville is on, but she wanted to reference what Oprah had gone through from a child and what she was able to overcome and still be able to be a successful woman and all of these things. And then finally she said that her third person she wanted to give flowers to was Beyonce. She said she had the pleasure of meeting Beyonce before and having a good chat with her, and that she was really sweet. And she said that the one thing about Beyonce that she sees is that Beyonce gets a lot of hate and a lot of criticism, but she says that nonetheless, Beyonce still stays focused, right? She still stays focused and on top of things. So then DJ Scream wants to, transition over to Mel's music, because he said he didn't get a chance to talk to her prior to her first single, Telltale Signs, came out. And so Mel, of course, said this was the first single that came out after the divorce. And basically she said that it, just hit that million views and all the things. And she said it's always going to be special because it's the first single that she released. Also said as well that the song in particular really kind of explains what she went through about, and then referenced the lyric, I gave you 5 years to cut it off. And she said that there were so many women that reached out to her that said that it took me 10 years, it took me 15 years before, really just having to walk away and go. And, he was asking then DJ Scream, he was like, so what happens with women? He said, are women blinded by love? Like, are they just ignoring certain signs and all the things? And so Mel was kind of saying it can be both. She said, here's the thing. She's like, you can pretty much be in love, right? You can pretty much be in love, and it can go both ways, where you're so in love and you're trying to make this work, you're trying to make this happen, or you're hoping that at some point this will stop, right? And you guys can be the family and be the couple that you once were. But nonetheless, at some point, obviously, if somebody's not going to change, if somebody's not going to do right by you, then it's time to cut your losses, right? So then Mel also talked about her newest single, which is Nobody's Business, that she also, talked about having 1 million views, talked about how it was at the top of the iTunes charts for R&B and was in the top 10 for all genres as well for Nobody's Business. And she felt that, there was, recent things that she wanted to address in that song of things that she was going through. And also said that she loves the studio. She loves recording music. She said she unfortunately doesn't have the time that she would like to spend in the studio, though, to just record. And so nonetheless, she said that she's been singing since 5. She'd been in talent shows and playing the keyboard and all of these things. And so nonetheless, anytime now, instead of her going back and forth on social media or responding back and forth to anybody that's coming for her on social media, she said now what she does is she puts everything into a song. She puts everything into music. And so she says that she shouted out her co-writer, and so she said that she'll come up with some lyrics and she'll text back and forth her co-writer, and then the co-writer will come back and also give some feedback as far as what type of lyrics and things to make the song work. And then once they feel that they have the song together, then she will go and record it. So nonetheless, then she'll drop the bars and come out with the single. And then Mel references Martell's Tasha K interview, where again, she said that was when Martell wanted to show some old footage of Mel's reaction to him, dealing with all of the things where she found out, of course, that he had stole money from her and all of the things. And Mel said at that point in time, when that interview came out, when everything was going viral, remember all of the black blogs have these videos on there, trying to falsely accuse Mel of certain things, not realizing it was a reaction video. And Mel said she didn't respond. And what she ended up doing was she ended up putting in the song Nobody's Business. That's how Nobody's Business came to be, because as you guys know, that lyric is in there, about, questioning the paternity of Sugar Mama and, wishing that she had a better father and all these things as an example for the kids, who was taller, who was smarter, and all those things. That song came to be basically as a result of this Tasha K interview. Also, Mel also talks about, because DJ Scream was asking if Mel has ever performed or if she has any performances coming up. And so Mel said that she has been performing. She has been performing at festivals. Also plugged that she had later that day the performance with Portia as well. And I don't believe it's Portia from Real Housewives of Atlanta. I know some people keep putting that out there, but I'm like 99.9% sure it's not that Portia, because this Portia actually works for Fox. So with that being said, She feels that music is therapy to her. And then DJ Scream was trying to get some exclusives, like, what can you tell us? What is the outlook for the rest of 2024? I know you've got some things in the works. And so Mel said then from there, she said that, you know, she has her, of course, her production company, Tilted Crown Productions. And she said that Charnita'S World, if you guys weren't aware, is greenlit for season 2. So she said right now she's the executive producer of Charnita'S World, and they are actively filming season 2. And she said there is another contract that Mel recently signed with another distributor that she cannot announce yet. But she said that she's always working. She said she is currently still filming Love and Marriage Huntsville. And so DJ Scream was like, okay, what season is this on? Because I'm hearing all these different numbers. And so Mel said, technically, you know, this has been out since 2019. Technically, this is season 8. But they're calling it season 5, and they're breaking it up to season 5 A, B, and C. Can you make it make sense? Make it make sense. It's season 8. But again, if what Winter said was true, that Carlos King is doing this on purpose, breaking up the season so that people can't negotiate a raise, that is foul. That is absolutely foul, because if you've been on the show 8 seasons, your pay should not be the same as it was season 1. So nonetheless, there is that. And then also Mel said, you know, there was also a final question on what Mel wanted to give as far as advice to people, and what they wanted to, you know, leave with African American women in particular. And so essentially she said that you can't, you know, let any haters try to like impact anything. You know, also, before we get to that really quick, sorry about that. Mel also wanted to reference, you know, because DJ Scream was talking about how the show comes on Saturday nights and how it could be difficult to retain viewership that night and staying engaged. And so then DJ Scream was trying to pull something else out of Mel, and Mel thought that maybe he was trying to pull out of her whether she was single, dating, or engaged to somebody. And so she said basically that she was single, and then DJ Scream said, well, when do you think that you are going to be involved with somebody? And Mel said, well, I'm going to do what you said, and I'm going to say when God says it's fit for her to no longer be single. And so then finally now, the final thing was the ask if you have any advice or any type of, you know, intel or, you know, things that people can be inspired by to tell the Black women out there that would be beneficial. And so Mel says, you know, for encouragement and motivation, she said, do not ever give up a part of your purpose. Do not give up, you know, what you want to do. She said, nothing trumps God's purpose for life. She said, also, there is time that you need to disconnect as well. But she said, also keep in mind the blessings that God has in store for you and everything else. She said, do not be afraid to let people go when you need to. And she said, do not be afraid to try new things. She said, fear of, you know, failure, fear of something not working out is what tends to hold you back. And she said, do not be afraid that it's just you and God sometimes that need to get you to where you need to go. And then finally, DJ Scream was trying to plug Mel, you know, possibly doing a podcast. And Mel was like, I'm not doing no podcast. she was like, she got way much going on to do a podcast. But nonetheless, I wanted to just quickly say, because there was a lot that I had to recap, but I loved this interview. I loved how positive it was. And this is a message to the people, right? This is a message to the people that you can do interviews and talk about yourself and talk about what you've got going on and talk about your family and not throw shade. I didn't hear any shade, you guys. I didn't hear any drags of anybody in the cast. I didn't hear any mention of anybody else in the cast. I didn't hear, you know, anything about the show other than Mel still filming it and Mel, you know, potentially could have DJ Scream on it. But there was nothing that was negative, you guys. There was nothing that was clickbait. There was nothing that was, you know, trying to start any drama. Even Mel kept it cute and mute as it pertained to her ex and all of the things. So you can do interviews, you guys. You can talk to the people without having to mention other people's name. that is possible to do, especially when you're booked and busy, especially when you have actual things going on with your life. You don't have time to be worried about the haters and worried about people with their names in your mouth. So this interview, for that reason alone, was super refreshing. I will make sure to pin it in my comments so those of you who have not checked it out can check it out. I believe since it came out earlier today, it has over 10,000 views. I'm sure that views is going to quadruple at some point, but nonetheless, it was really good. It was very positive, you guys. That's the thing. Even people who may not like Mel or may not be a fan of Mel, it was a very positive interview, you guys. It was a very positive and motivated interview. It was talking about the things Mel had been through and how she's overcome, how she's built herself back up from the ground up after her divorce, after the scandal, of course, and all of the things, and really gave some good insight, gave some good tips, gave some good encouragement to everybody out there. So it's very positive. I believe the comments that I saw were very positive. So if you have, I think it's about 20 minutes or so, if you have that time to listen to it, I recommend you guys do so. If you just want to hear something positive, something motivational, something inspirational, that is the thing to listen to right now. So there is that. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.